Every time you click on something, search for a recipe, or buy a book online, you're creating data. But how does all that digital noise get turned into something useful? Something that actually gives us insight? Well, that's exactly what we're digging into today, the incredible power of data mining.
So let me start with a question for you. Does this sound like science fiction? The idea that your simple Google search for flu symptoms, when you multiply that by millions of people, could actually predict a nationwide health crisis?
Well, believe it or not, the answer is a huge yes. There was a project called Google Flu Trends that did exactly that. Just by analyzing search queries, they could spot flu outbreaks coming up to 2 weeks before the official health centers could. That's the kind of power we're talking about here, finding patterns hidden in plain sight. Okay, so that flu prediction is a fantastic example of finding the gold. But how do you actually do it? Let's break down the process of turning these messy, giant piles of raw data into pure, valuable knowledge. It all starts right here with something called a data warehouse. Just think of it like a gigantic, super organized library. Before you can even think about analyzing anything, all the raw info from all over the place needs to be collected and stored in one single spot. So once that library is built and organized, that's when data mining comes in. This is the fun part. It's the active search. It's you, the detective, sifting through all that information, looking for hidden connections, surprising trends, and valuable insights you'd never ever find otherwise. This whole journey actually has a name, the knowledge discovery process. And you can pretty much think of it in 4 simple steps. First, you collect all the raw data. Second, and this is crucial, you have to prepare it. Clean it up, get it organized. Only then, in step 3, can you actually mine for those hidden patterns. And finally, step 4, you have to evaluate what you found and share that new knowledge. All right, so what tools do you actually use to find those patterns? Let's open up the Data Miner's Toolkit and look at 3 of the most powerful techniques they have.
First up, we've got a technique called classification.
Classification is really all about sorting things into categories that you already know exist. The keyword there is predefined. Think about your email automatically deciding if something is spam or not spam, or a bank's computer looking at a transaction and labeling it safe, or, hey, this looks a little risky. You're just assigning new data to an existing label.
But what if you don't know what the groups are supposed to be? Well, that brings us to our second tool, clustering.
This is where things get really cool. With clustering, you let the data speak for itself. You don't have any preconceived groups. The whole goal is to let the data form its own natural clusters. Businesses use this all the time to discover different types of customers they never even knew they had, which, as you can imagine, is a game changer for marketing.
And now for our final technique, association analysis. And let me tell you, this is the one that's responsible for some of the most surprising and, honestly, legendary discoveries in the world of data mining.
This is all about finding unexpected relationships between different things. The classic story, and it might just be a legend, but it makes the point perfectly, is about a store that discovered that men who bought diapers on Friday nights also, very often, bought beer. That's market basket analysis, and it's the exact same logic that your favorite streaming service uses to recommend what you should watch next. So let's do a quick recap of the toolkit. Classification sorts things into groups you already know. Clustering lets the data find its own hidden groups. And association finds out which things tend to go together. 3 different tools for 3 very different kinds of questions.
Now, these techniques, they aren't just for textbooks. They are running quietly in the background of our world, shaping our experiences every single day.
And what's really interesting here is how this connects right back to our toolkit. You see retailers, they're using clustering to segment their customers. You see banking, they're using classification to score credit and detect fraud. Insurance companies, they're using these same tools to figure out risk. It's the same core ideas popping up everywhere. And trust me, it doesn't stop there. It's used in manufacturing to make supply chains more efficient. It's used in HR to figure out why good employees leave. And customer service teams use it to analyze conversations to make you, the customer, happier. It is literally everywhere.
So, after all that, what is the big picture here? What's the ultimate goal of sifting through all this information?
I love this quote from the source material because it just hits the nail on the head. The goal is to find unsuspected relationships. It's about discovering things that are genuinely new and then summarizing them in a way that's actually useful for a real person. And this right here says it all. Data mining is the bridge. It's what takes you from the chaos of raw, meaningless data on one side
to the clarity of actionable knowledge on the other. And that knowledge could be anything from predicting a flu outbreak to stopping a fraudulent transaction or just recommending your next favorite show.
So, I'll leave you with this one last fascinating thought. With more data being created every single second than ever before in history, the power to ask and answer huge questions on a global scale is growing like crazy. The only real limit is the questions we choose to ask.